Hello and welcome. Before we begin, a note from the Tynemouth quiz. This quiz has been produced in line with UK government COVID guidelines and advice from UK film industry bodies. At all times throughout filming, participants and staff were kept in a COVID secure environment with stringent safety restrictions in place. No part of this quiz, including the results, should be seen as endorsing a particular candidate in the upcoming election. We do like people to vote, but we also believe that you shouldn't select who to vote for based on how well they did in the local general knowledge quiz. This is the quiz for the 2021 Tynemouth Ward election for local council. There are 4 political parties up for election this time in Tynemouth. We contacted all of them to take part in the quiz, but 2 declined. So 2 contestants will be taking part in this year's election special, and it is red versus blue, Conservative versus Labour, taking part with 9 questions of Tynemouth based general knowledge. Once again, we do have to remind you, this is not a guide on who to vote for in the local council elections. This is a fun-filled extravaganza of general knowledge. Right then, let's meet our victims, or should I say contestants.
Okay, my name's Chris Johnston. I'm a prospective Conservative candidate for the Tynemouth election. I was born in Front Street, Tynemouth, believe it or not. I've lived in Tynemouth for about 25 years, and I've worked in Tynemouth for over 30 years. Thank you.
Okay, my name's Tricia. I am the Labour candidate for Tynemouth. I've lived in Tynemouth for about 10 years. And that is everything.
Now for the rules. Last time we did this, we learned it was a little bit terrifying having our candidates stare just into a video camera and answer some ludicrous questions about Tynemouth. So this year, we've allowed our candidates to bring along a friend to help them out. They are seated off camera at a socially distanced area, and they are available to assist with any questions just like a normal pub quiz team. They are monitored by the quizmaster to make sure there are no shenanigans going on with mobile phones, and as luck would have it, both the friends that came along are current incumbent Tynemouth councillors. Right then, let's get on the way with 9 general knowledge questions on Tynemouth. Question number 1. What is the oldest pub in Tynemouth Village? So question 1, what's the oldest pub in Tynemouth Village?
Is it this one?
Okay, we'll go for the salutation.
Question 2. Prior to becoming the Co-op, what was the name of the supermarket in Tynemouth? So question 2, prior to becoming the Co-op, what was the name of the supermarket in Tynemouth?
Oh goodness. Could it have been a Presto? Or a Savers? Or a Summerfield? I'm going with Summerfield because that feels really retro.
Walter Wilson.
Question 3. In Robert Westall's Chas McGill books, what was the name he gave to the town based on North Shields and Tynemouth? So question 3. In Robert Westall's Chas McGill books, what was the name he gave to the town based on North Shields and Tynemouth?
Pass.
When I don't know the answer to a place, I'm just saying Wessex.
Wessex.
So we're going with Wessex.
That seems fair. Yeah, okay.
Question 4. Which social theorist lived at Mrs. Halliday's boarding house at 57 Front Street for 5 years from 1840? So question 4. Which social theorist lived at Mrs. Halliday's boarding house at 57 Front Street for 5 years from 1840?
Beyond me.
I think it might. Is it not?
It may be Martineau. Martineau. We'll go for somebody called Martineau.
Is this that woman? Is it Martino?
Question 5. Name the Italian general who stayed for a few days at Huntingdon Place in 1854, and for a bonus point, name the fruit and the biscuit that's named after them.
Number 5. Name the Italian general who stayed in Huntingdon Place for a few days in 1854, and for a bonus point, what fruit is the biscuit named? What fruit is in the biscuit named after them?
It is Garibaldi.
Yes.
And it is raisins.
It's Garibaldi.
Yes.
Fruit? Raisins? Yes, we'll say raisins.
Question 6. YouTuber Will NE is from Tynemouth and in a Vice interview described the worst job he'd had as a teenager. Was it A, a bartender at the Turk's Head Hotel, B, an otter tank cleaner at the aquarium, or C, a miniature golf hut attendant? So question 6. YouTuber Will NE is from Tynemouth and in a Vice interview described the worst job he'd had as a teenager. Was it as a bartender at the Turk's, an otter tank cleaner at the aquarium, or a miniature golf hut attendant?
Cleaning the otter tank.
Sounds bad, doesn't it? Yes, it does. So cleaning the otter tank will go for
otter tank, right?
Okay, my son is a big fan of Will NE, so I should know this. But I've got a feeling it's the golf club one.
Question 7. What is the name of the fountain buried on Long Sands? Question 7. What's the name of the fountain buried on Long Sands?
The fountain buried on Long Sands.
Yes.
Long Sands Fountain.
Okay.
I just know it's the Lion's Head fountain, but I don't know if it's got an actual name.
I'm going to go with that. Yes, we know where it is. Well, we know where it is if you dig it up. Continue to dig it up. It's covered in sand, isn't it? So we'll go for that. Thank you very much.
Question 8. What does the acronym TVLB stand for? So question 8. What does the acronym TVLB stand for?
Oh, Tynemouth Volunteer Lifeboat Brigade?
I'll take. You've got brigade in there. I'll take that. Yep.
Tynemouth Volunteer Life Brigade.
And finally, question 9. 2 points up for grabs with this one. What is the motto of Tynemouth? You get a point for the Latin and a point for the English translation. So question 9. What is the motto of Tynemouth? It's a point for the Latin and a point for the English translation.
Messus ab altis, harvest from the deep.
We used to have a Waitrose.
No matter what, that's going in there.
Well then, how did our candidates do at the terrible trivia test of Tynemouth? Here are the answers to the 9 questions we asked for Tynemouth general knowledge. Question number 1, what's the oldest pub in Tynemouth Village? That's the Turk's Head Hotel. Question number 2, prior to becoming the Co-op, what was the name of Tynemouth's supermarket? It was Walter Wilson's. Question number 3, in Robert Westall's Chas McGill books. These include Machine Gunners, Fathom 5, I believe a brief appearance in the Watch House as well. What was the name he gave to the town he based on Tynemouth and North Shields? That town was Garmouth. Garmouth for number 3. Number 4, which social theorist lived at Mrs. Halliday's boarding house at number 57 Front Street 5 years from March 1840? That's Harriet Martineau. Number 5, name the Italian general who stayed in Huntingdon Place for a few days in 1854. And for a bonus point, what fruit is in the biscuit named after them? The famous Italian general is Giuseppe Garibaldi. The Garibaldi biscuit, obviously named after him. Now, the Garibaldi biscuit does contain currants, which I also repeat was spelt wrong on the screen there, but I'm not going back to change it now. But everybody said raisins, and you know what? They look sort of similar. Everyone gets a point for that. Number 6. YouTuber Will NE was a mini golf hut attendant at his worst ever job as described in Vice before he became super famous on YouTube. Number 7, name the fountain buried on Long Sands. That's the Lion's Head Fountain. Number 8, what does the acronym TVLB stand for? That stands for Tynemouth Volunteer Life Brigade. And finally, question 9. 2 points up for grabs with this one. What is the motto of Tynemouth? And you got a point for the Latin and a point for the English translation. The motto of Tynemouth is Messus ab altis, or in English, our harvest from the deep. Those were the 9 answers for Tynemouth general knowledge, and tallying up all the marks, it was question number 9, the 2-pointer that won it for the blue team. That is the final scores. Blue team are on 8 points, red team on 6.
Now, what if this wins the election?
I'm very certain.
That was the Tynemouth Quiz election special for the 2021 Tynemouth Ward Council elections. A massive thank you to Tricia and Chris for taking part in this year's quiz. We'll see you with an election special in a year's time, when current incumbent Sarah Day goes up for re-election. She's already booked her slot in the hot seat next year. Thank you very much for everyone for watching. Please remember to vote tomorrow. Your participation in local democracy is always very important. And finally, a small advertisement. Remember, places are available for our pub quiz live in a pub with other people and alcohol at the Turk's Head Hotel in Tynemouth on May 17th. You can book online using the Green King app or via the Tynemouth Turk's Head websites. We hope to see you then. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in another year for an election quiz special.